I want to talk for a second. I want to talk about I want to talk about motivation. I want to talk about things going on in my life and I want to share. I think that's the big one. I want to share what's going on in my life because I think that maybe somebody will understand and maybe it will help put something into perspective. I am a creative type. I want to sit down and I want to create. I want to make stuff. I want to do stuff. I want to put things together and bring new things into the world. I want to create. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to come by motivation. I was working on an MMO. I was working on a space engineer's mod. I was working on caretaking one as well, which involved me making new models, new textures, new code, new a lot. And I was down for it. I really enjoyed it. I wanted to do it. It was something that I cared about. And it's hard to care about something when nobody else does. I wanted to work on my MMO, and I'll focus on this for a minute. I wanted to make an MMO. I coded the base. I have test maps built. I have the initial code for ray traced projectiles. I wanted to make a space themed MMO where you go out in a fighter or a capital ship or something in between and do quests, do missions, explore, and just generally have fun. Anyway, well, I wanted to make this game. I really did. I wanted to be able to sit down and do it, and I coded a good portion of its skeletal framework. I had the initial like projectiles, I had movement, camera controls, you could swap between first and third person, went on foot. Vehicles had models starting to be made, and well, parts of vehicles were started to be made since every vehicle was pieced together. That's a whole. If I was going to talk about that, I'd make my own video on that, but I don't want to do that until I know that I have the motivation to actually fulfill it. There was other games too that I started a concept on. I have an 8-page game document on another game that I wanted to work on. Um, it was a horror game. I won't get into the specific details, but I probably could do it in a few weeks. Just if I had the support and the motivation, I could have this done in a few weeks. The problem is the motivation. I tried to talk to friends. I tried to talk to people about this kind of stuff. I got a lot of resounding meh. It wasn't even it didn't even feel like they were giving me commentary on the concept. It felt like they were just dismissing me. And that killed my motivation to do the project. I tried to talk to friends about my MMO and got a resounding meh, and it sucked. It killed my motivation for it. The scope of the project started to get way bigger because as I lose motivation, the scope of the project compared to my ability to power through anything, it they kind of displaced. I had the confidence, I had the motivation to do it, and then I didn't. I decided to go smaller. I decided to make 2D because I had a sprite artist that actually wanted to help me. And then they didn't. And I don't blame them. They lost motivation themselves. I can't argue with that. But that killed my project before it even started. With the Space Engineers one, I wanted to share a game with people. I wanted to play Space Engineers with people, and I can't. The people who I would play with don't like it, and the people who I could play with that do play it are not the kind of people I want to play with. The Space Engineers community is not very welcoming. Sometimes I want to experiment, and then if I do in that community, you get pretty much thrown to the wolves and told that you're stupid. Well, okay, I don't want to be a part of your community then. If I can't be creative in the game that is literally made for creativity, I don't want to be a part of your community. I wanted to do RimWorld as well, a RimWorld mod. I had a lot of plans for it, and there's actually a lot done already for it. When I tried to do it, I attempted to do so with the idea of proposing it to friends and getting feedback. And when I did, I got a resounding meh. I didn't really get anything. It was all, yeah, that's cool. And this is even from people who play the game. It's one of those things where I lost motivation because I didn't feel I got any support. I felt like nobody cared. It comes down to that a lot. I feel like people don't care. I need people to care. It's not even that I need people to care about a certain project. It's not that I need people to give me any sort of validation. It'd be nice to know that what I'm doing isn't for nothing. What I'm doing matters. Maybe that is validation. I don't know. But it sucks. I always try and be supportive to my friends. I always try and give inputs whenever I can. I always try to involve their projects. I always try to be involved. I want to give them support. When I worked on my tabletop RPG, I wanted to involve my friend, my best friend. And back when I first started the project, I know there were people that kept telling me that it was kind of a too grandiose a scope, or one in particular stuck with me, and it really killed my motivation to do it at all for the longest time, and it was, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you making this project at all? There are plenty of options, just use one of those. Why are you building your own? I didn't have an answer. I wanted to make my own. It was that simple. What I had available wasn't fitting to what I wanted to do. I didn't want to use the available spacefaring tabletop games. I wanted to make my own because what I could make would fit my themes and my theories. It would fit my gameplay style, and it would be something new that I could share with people. I guess that was the answer I needed to say, but I guess I was so taken aback by it that I couldn't think of it. I recently thought of that, and that's why I picked it back up again, but that damage was already done. I don't know what to do. I'm disabled. I'm mentally crippled. I have a lot of mental disabilities that make it very hard for me to figure out what to do with myself ever. When I get my motivation, it's like having a shield. It gives me the ability to do things. And I think that that's the autism, but in any case, it doesn't really matter where it comes from. What matters is that it gives me enough of a defense from mental illness to do things, and when I get people that I trust telling me that things I'm doing are meh or why even bother, it just strips my shield away, and now everything can get to me. Anxiety, second guessing, all this stuff, it all piles up, and it hurts me. It really hurts me. There's not a lot I enjoy in life anymore, and being able to make things does. But if I don't have the motivation, if I don't have the ability to get up and go, if I lose that inertia, I don't have that anymore. I don't get to enjoy life anymore. I don't get to have that defense against my mental illnesses. Things that people told me and say to me sneak in, even if they don't matter. Even if I know that those people are either misguided, don't know the truth, or don't care. In any case, shit like that gets to me. I don't like to say that it does. I never like to admit it, but shit like that does get to me. There are people out there that did hurt me, and those things linger. Sorry about this getting dark. I've been rambling. I ramble a lot sometimes when I have had a few drinks in me. I'll probably cut this down in editing a little bit, but you'll probably get a lot of it. I guess I might as well finish up my point on motivation and how it affects people, specifically me. I want my friends to be able to support me. I know that sometimes it can be hard because I am always doing two or three things at once. Um, I'm working on magic cards, I'm playing a game, and I'm also working on another project on top of all that. I think my last fixation was Doom, and I started making Doom-themed magic cards, making my own Doom wad, and on top of all of that, doing a story. And in an afternoon, I did 5 pages for that story. I wrote an entire chapter. I had it edited and looked at by at least something. Got rid of all the grammar errors and all of the spelling errors that I might have had slip in. And I wrote that shit myself. I wrote that shit all on my own some. And I'm piss afraid to say, hey, friends, look at what I wrote. Because I feel like they're not going to say anything. They're not even going to read it. Every time I've done anything remotely close to this, nobody's read it. I mean, I can't just shove something in somebody's face and expect them to just, you know, always be interested. I can't expect that of anybody. I mean, sometimes people ask me for my opinion, and the most that I can say is, hey, that's neat. Like, yeah, sometimes I can't really tell you anything, but I always do try. And I feel like people don't even try. I need my shield. I need somebody to be at my side sometimes. I wanted that to be my significant other, and I don't think that any of them have ever been at my side the way that I expect them to, or even remotely care about me in the way that I kind of need. That's not to say that my significant others have always been bad. Some of them have been very good to me, and are very good to me right now. but I need support, and I feel like I don't get it. I think that this has been enough of me rambling. Whoever watches this whole thing, thank you for listening. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate that more than you know. And I'm sorry if you've listened to this and I have said something that hurts you. It wasn't it wasn't my intention to do that. Thanks.